Hi, everybody. I'm a little bit late. It's June 13, 2026. Welcome to the Saturday night live stream. I'll wait for you to receive the notifications and then we'll go from there. I hope everybody's doing well. Once again, I was not able to include the trailer, which was really upsetting because most of the videos that were options for me were old videos. So, hi, Katie. Welcome. Wait. Oh, you got the notification. Good. I'm so glad. I'm a little bit late. I'm about 10 minutes late. I was getting the kittens, the cats back inside. I ate dinner late. And I've been trying to get the trailer attached to the live stream, and I believe that the criminals have deliberately prevented that from happening. So how are you tonight?
What if?
Hi, Nettie. Welcome, welcome.
Could be the reason you're landing high-paying clients. You followed me across state.
Hi, Julius. Hi, Annie. I'm a little bit late. With
30 years in Alabama, Jersey girl with perfect plans. Garden raising my daughter, healing cats.
Welcome, welcome. Hi, Just Me. I was listening to a video. Hi, very soon. The top 5 places for single women to live in retirement. Guess what? Kentucky wasn't one of them. Hi, Copious. Welcome. It's another Saturday night. And, I didn't remember this, but this weekend is our president's birthday, and he's evidently throwing a whopper of a party for himself. Hi, very soon. Welcome. Remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in, guys. Hi, Nettie. How's everybody doing? It was hot here today. Yeah. Hi, Dee. Hi, everybody. Remember to hit the thumbs up, guys. Hi, Landshark. Welcome, welcome. I tried once again to add the trailer that was created by a wonderful subscriber. Hi, Fred. Welcome. And it wasn't an option. Perps have deactivated your chat box on your laptop. That does not surprise me. I don't have a camera anymore. They deactivated my camera. They removed the battery on the laptop, damaged the box for the battery. So I can't even insert a new battery if I wanted to because the latches are broken. And mind you, when I moved here, this laptop was in perfect condition. Hi, JJ and Lorna. Welcome. These are predators. And I don't mind saying it. I'll say it till the day I die. This is the worst place I've ever lived in my life. The worst people. Yes, exactly, Lanchuk. They are. Yeah, it's a group party on weekends. Exactly. Well, some of these people actually do have regular jobs, like they pretend to be stand-up citizens by working for the local internet company or the energy company, right? But on the weekends, no, no, they turn into the criminal cartel that they actually are. So remember to hit the thumbs up, guys. So what Julius, what do you attribute your perp stuff to increasing the last few days? Anything in particular? Sometimes they do it according to certain dates that are important to you. Like if it's your birthday, a family member's birthday. Remember to hit the thumbs up, guys. Your ears are heating are heating up. Yeah, well, they do that. No, not yet. Not yet. I have not even had time to look for another person, right? It's very time consuming. I have other things to do also. Hi, Sue. Welcome, welcome. Every time I have to set something up, I spend like an hour and a half with the individual while they're here walking around, and it's very hot today. I think it was like 88 degrees or something. We might have to contact these damn fusion centers and tell them to back off. Send them a cease and desist letter. Yes, tomorrow is Trump's birthday. Hi, Annie. Welcome. Yes, that happened to me once in New Jersey. Well, it happened once here too, and that's why I knew that something was not right. So, usually that means that you've been poisoned. Oh, yeah, that happens. Well, it's fortunate you're still working, but then you've got the mobbing usually at work. Oh, okay, Nettie. Yeah, I've worked for three real estate companies or agencies in New Jersey myself. I was the office manager um, for two of them. No, that's so interesting that you mentioned that. I thought of him not like real recently, but maybe a month or so ago. I was wondering like what had happened to him. Um, Jeff, the American guinea pig cash cow, disappeared. I mean, this happens to a lot of people. It would be nice. Like, it's one thing if they disappear and tell somebody that they're okay and not to worry about them, that they're going to be moving or doing something else. But when they just disappear like that, yes, that's happened to me the last few days, actually, and my shoulder. Oh, these criminals, like they're really heating me up to the point where, like, my nails have changed. So I know that that's bad. You work for Weicker Realtors Hallmark mortgage loan offices. We have some similar background. Yeah, it's interesting. I was the office manager for ERA Advantage when they had opened up like a new office, and when they opened up the new office, um, I was hired there to manage the office. The I worked directly for the broker of records, but she was not in the office a lot, so I always had to go find her. To go find her somewhere. He was copious. What he was doing was some of his last videos was he was recording himself contacting, senators or governors or whatever and leaving messages about the program. But there was one thing that he did that at first I thought it was funny, but when I realized that he really did do it, I didn't think it was a good idea. And if I remember correctly, he went on to the now don't quote me on this. This is what I think he did. I think he went onto the CIA website and he applied. He applied and I think he uploaded his resume or something, and he said something about being a targeted individual. But that might not have been the wisest thing to do. I think that's what he did. I'm talking about Jeff the American Guinea Pig Cash Cow. Hi Nick, welcome, welcome. Yeah, the live stream, I started about 10 minutes late. So that was my fault. I started 10 minutes late. I was trying to get the last kitties into the building, and then I come in here and look for the trailer to attach to this live stream, and I have been unsuccessful to locate it. Oh, that broker of record? Oh my goodness gracious. Well, she was an Aquarius, so what do you expect? I mean, when you work for an Aquarian, you have to go look for them because they disappear. Like they don't have a schedule. But she was a really good listing agent. Like she was a top lister. The other realtor agency I worked for was Linda Trott. She had her own standalone loan agency, and she was like totally top notch everything. And now in hindsight, they probably killed her. She and her husband went into New York City for his doctor appointment. Everything went well. They're driving down the New Jersey Turnpike, and then suddenly, um, a trucker falls asleep and rams their vehicle into another vehicle on the New Jersey Turnpike and kills them on impact. Yeah, so that was horrible. Yeah, that was Linda Trott Realty. You can probably find it on the internet somewhere. Let's see. It does drain the energy. And I was thinking about that video that I posted about the FBI's. Hi Joe, welcome, welcome. Oh, you were out fishing. Did you catch anything? Let's see. You harvested wild mints that you found growing around the stream bank. Oh, cool. Joe is going to be cooking for everybody. Okay. Oh, you think Jeff's channel was taken down? Really? I just remember that being like one of his last videos, and at first I thought it was funny, but then I thought, that if did he really do that? Did he really apply for a job at I don't know if it was the FBI or the CIA and say that his experience was because he was a targeted individual? My song trailer, it wouldn't come on. Oh, good, Joe. We'll watch that. Joe, why don't you drop a link to your YouTube channel? Yes, yes. Yeah, Linda, she was the best. Like I've never been like afraid of a boss before. I'm not gonna say afraid, but like you know how you want to impress a boss. Like I never felt like I really had to impress a boss before, but she was so top notch that like you wanted to do everything perfect for her. Yeah, she was so good. She was like the best. Let's see, fire trucks, police, EMS targeting you on Friday. Oh, they're so annoying. Yeah, I heard fire trucks here recently too. I think it's just so stupid. Let's see, you've been feeling drained lately. I don't get taxed as hard as you do, but when you lived in Florida, you did. Oh yeah, these people are nuts here. They're nuts. Hi Jerry, welcome. Hi River Bluff, welcome, welcome. Oh no, I started about 10 minutes late also, so you probably didn't receive the notifications. Lorraine makes a great boss lady. I was a boss lady at one time. Let's see, Chevy. Yeah, yeah, they love to hit the legs. Yep, they love to hit my ankles, my knees. They try to disable you. They want to make it appear as if it's happening naturally, but it's not. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it, Joe. Did you post the link? Why do you go to the zoo? Are you asking me? I live amongst the animals here. Let's see. I'm going to head out. Everyone. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for showing up. Your button turns into a kitty. I didn't do that. I did not do that. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. If you want to follow Joe, he usually has some really good footage of driving and the perps while he's driving. Yeah, most of the TI channels are shadow banned. They cannot get views, but the Gang Stalkers channels have lots of views talking about irrelevant stuff like who has the bigger car. Let's see, is it illegal to sell your own property there? Oh, no, no, you can sell property. I have to figure out a way that they're not interfering, not intercepting my phone calls. That's a problem. Oh, where I live? Yeah, everybody's in on it here. It's too small of a town. It was not like this in New Jersey. There's no way that it could have been. Hi, Joey. Welcome. Yeah, they love to hit you. Like they wait for you to leave the house so they can whack you with something. Oh no, no, not literally. No, there's no zoo around here. They're just animals, predator. I call them predators. The predators on patrol, and that's what they are. They're predators. Remember to hit the thumbs up, guys, when you come in. Yeah, they spray things on the property, and I noticed this morning. They've been spraying the skies a lot, and I noticed these like little webby things on the grass. It's not like that every day, but it's like that when they're sending down like the Morgellons. See like these little cobwebby things that are not insect related. Oh, I wish I had my phone with me yesterday. Yesterday, there was a parade of cars. Like, I think they just go around in a loop. They've got like maybe 7 or 8 or 10 cars, and then they just drive around in a loop. I think to myself, like, what kind of a life is that? being a puppet for somebody else. Like, okay, so they don't have a life either because they have to wake up when I wake up, and they have to get into their cars and drive. Oh, your job is River Bluff. Well, I thought you already moved. Exactly, a life of no individuality. But they're not individuals because they're sheeple people. They want to do it for the greater good. Oh, it's horrible. This happens to the animals. Oh, you're on a contract in Florida. Oh. I see. I didn't realize it was a contract. Oh, at least you're getting employment. That's really good. Every targeted person I've spoke to that's still working, um, it's just so much harassment there. Good. Oh, I'm so glad. Just me. Is your photo of a little like a little dog? Is that what that is? A little dog? Yeah, it's a lot to deal with. Oh no. Oh no. That's horrible, Nick. Oh yeah, I think a lot of us get. Is that what that is? A Maltese? Okay, my father had one of those. Like that's a little dog. Oh, that's great. Oh yeah, you have to let us know. 7 pounds. Okay, I probably have I'm going to say maybe Zumi's even heavier than that. Zumi might be heavier than 7 pounds. If I were going to Asia, I would probably I would not mind going to Japan. And Japan has like a separate island that's just for cats. They actually like cats in Japan. Oh, that's so cool. Oh well, Joe's been to Peru, right? Joe, didn't you visit Peru? Hi, his girl. Welcome. Is it normal, say, for a phone to run on 5G? I always switch my phone. Like, there's an option to keep my phone at 5G, or I forget what it is. Let me take a look. But I always switch it back. Yeah, I have it on 2.4 because it hooks up with some of my apps better. It's still 85 degrees here. They absolutely are demonic. Nettie says the gang stalkers in Florida were all my neighbors, and I used to tell them that I said, "Boy, it must suck being you, being told where to go, when to go, what people don't realize that you're being." Yeah. Joey says, "Turn off 5G and 2G." I don't know if I'll get service because I have Verizon. Oh, really? Joe says people in Peru took down the Gwen Towers. That's interesting. I wonder if other countries have these flock cameras, or if this is just like an America phenomenon. Nick's been to the Falklands. I haven't been almost anywhere. Let's see. Isn't that amazing, Julius? Julius says, I'm amazed at how much time and effort the perps put into harassing us. And imagine how much money they spend on us. They probably spent millions and millions of dollars on me. I'm not even worth that much for them to be spending so much money. It's ridiculous. Oh, yeah, well, that's foolish of me to say because, they do all of these surreptitious, illegal things behind our backs, like take out life insurance policies. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, they have zero life. Their life is ours, is watching us. Remember to hit the thumbs up, guys, because it's like it says that there are 24 people listening and 15 thumbs up. Yeah, I realized in New Jersey who was in on it of my neighbors. They would slowly turn some of my neighbors. Hi, City of Fullerton. I've heard that it's pretty bad in Florida. I don't really like messing with the phone settings and stuff. I always forget what I did. I have to write everything down. Yeah, that's what I usually do before bed. I'll place my phone on airplane mode. It seems like as more and more people become unemployed, it's very possible that some of those newly unemployed will accept jobs as stalkers and may even be completely unaware of what it is that they're doing or what they signed up for. New Jersey is in its own world. Oh, it absolutely is. It's interesting that you say that because I'm still on the Nextdoor app for New Jersey. So every once in a while, I will chime in and leave a comment. There was a woman that posted about the property taxes. She's a senior person. How the property taxes are so high. And the one thing about New Jersey, like at least Manalapan, is when it snowed, they had those snow trucks going like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and I thought it was always excessive and probably just so expensive to run. Now I heard today that they're starting to charge people for the snow removal. That has never happened before. It's always been included in the property taxes. So that is huge, considering the property taxes there are so high. To start individually charging for snow removal is crazy. How's the stalking in Massachusetts? You know what? You might want to ask Romola D about that. She's in Massachusetts. I don't really know of anybody else there. Oh, right. There was that oh, what was his name? Frank Allen. He has his show. I don't know if he still does. If he has his podcast. Yes, I would rather work as a farmer than harassing innocent people too. Your iPhone settings have been switched remotely by the perps. Yeah, they do that to me too. So they will change the dimness and the brightness on my phone like literally every day, several times a day. Jerry says I ended up with 2 kittens and the mom still wild. They're weaning. Oh, you just lost your dog. Oh, I'm so sorry. Kittens are fun. They can be fun. Kittens are a lot of fun. They're adorable. They're always so happy. Does anybody hear that creepy voice in the background? I almost don't want to say it because nobody's mentioned it yet. You need transcripts about tax. When all tax is taken into perspective, it adds up to 75% of your wage. I'm sure there are lots of videos on YouTube about that. Wait, there's some animals at my door. 1 second. I just had to let one of the cats in who's supposed to be next door, but she's a little bit late here. Let's see. You complain to the local Mason Lodge, and the stalking has mostly stopped for a while. Really? Van Life extremist said, "You complained? Really?" Uh, Creepy doesn't start until 11 p.m. That's funny. I see 24 on my screen with a 20 thumbs up. That's what I see. Out of 365 days, you are a slave for 220 or so. You mock the local Masonic Lodge. Maybe that's your problem. Oh, I don't have anything good to say about them. And they're cowards too, because you know what they're doing in the background. You know how they're manipulating people behind the scenes. Julia says, my opinion is that we are all low key slaves. When the AI finally takes over and establishes the technocratic New World Order slave state, the illusion of democracy will end. Nettie says, Lorraine, what did you do that they attack you so hard? And I don't mean that as being accusatory of you doing anything wrong, but man, you must have the light of God shining bright. Well, I have no idea. I really have no idea because I've mentioned this before. When I moved here, I didn't know anybody. Zero. I was living in my car for 6 weeks. I did not know anybody. It was a very, very difficult move here in New Jersey. I was a divorced single mom. At one point, I worked 4 jobs. I took care of a feral cat colony. I had a horrific divorce that lasted more than 3 years. I have no idea. And I keep thinking about it. Like in hindsight, I think I've been targeted longer because I had some really weird stuff happen. Um, like when I first got married to my ex-husband, I think I mentioned like our apartment was broken into, and the only thing that they stole was my collection of cat pins when they left my really good jewelry there. Absolutely, Nick. They have their hands in everything throughout history. Absolutely. Oh, so the creepy, the creepies here. Male nomadic line. New Jersey is no joke. New Jersey has a ton of money. Right, Appalachia is just a rough area too. I'm shocked also how widespread Satanism is both inside and outside the US. Johnson said they knocked him out. I see 28 now also. Yeah, there are a lot of targeted people in New Jersey. And New Jersey is extremely well funded in every way. The property taxes are crazy high. That probably some of the highest property taxes in the United States are in New Jersey. Yes, Joe, that's it. How you look back in hindsight and connect the dots and the puzzle of pieces fall into place. And in hindsight, in the back of my mind, there's still this guy that I didn't want to see. Like when I was 16 years old, and he ended up going into the military and returning, and I could not. He just gave me the creepies. Hi, Eden's Living. Welcome, welcome. And I'm like wondering if that jerk nominated me. Can someone bring up prison assignment program to Thomas Massey? It's really weird because he's one person that I've been wanting to contact that I just haven't contacted yet. Yeah, I was wondering where you were, Eden. Like you hadn't posted in more than a week, right? – 17 days under. Why? Is it that because you filed that complaint? Do you think it has to do with your filing those complaints? Was a reason provided you? High enough corruption. Welcome. Flock interview with Lowe's manager. I mean, the things that they don't do to people, targeted or not, it's just absolutely off the charts. It's unbelievable. Do you want to hear what they did to Jessica? Susan? Jessica's got a new doctor. You're leaving Alabama? I think that would be a good idea. Let's see, your guess is that Satanism is left over from various shamanic practices after Christianity became dominant. Satanists all revert to human sacrifice to summon demonic power. They're messing. Yes, it is messing with the pet. Oh, I did not even make public um, the latest thing that they did to a kitten here, but I think I'm going to. Yep, I agree. The Freemasons are Satanists. Yep. I mean, that's what I'm seeing here. When I first moved here, I really thought that the targeting would be less for a lot of reasons. One, because the houses are so far apart. Like in New Jersey, you walk out your house and you literally, if you look both sides, there are dozens of houses. Um, in the development, like hundreds and hundreds of houses. Like you're never alone. Like if you go for a walk in New Jersey, like you're never alone. It's sort of like walking in New York City. But here, so when I moved here, I thought, oh, it can't be that bad because the neighbors are so far away from each other. I was wrong. That's so funny that your cat vocalized your back and they got control of her brain to freak you out. It's very possible. Very soulless and demonic. Oh my goodness, Eden. You'll have to tell me more about it. Oh my goodness. Well, obviously moving here, there was no less. The targeting in New Jersey was very different just because it's the suburbs and you cannot get away with dropping grenades on somebody's street in New Jersey. You can't let your animals run wild in New Jersey. It's against the law. And they take it very seriously. No, they can't throw firecrackers in your backyard. They can't throw grenades on your yard. I never had anybody like screaming at me from a vehicle in New Jersey. I did have other horrible stuff, especially to the house. The vandalism was really bad, and they did some nasty stuff to my cats too, very bad. Yes, the wicked have to show faith in Satan for him to give to them. By showing willful faith to commit demonic ritual acts, they climb the ladders, but they denounce God. They'll pay. Eden's was kidnapped, drugged, trafficked. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was wondering where you were. At first, I thought, well, maybe you just picked up and left on your own. But I remember you filed those complaints. Like, didn't you send something certified mail or hand deliver some complaints? There are good shamans who don't take credit for the healing they do. They acknowledge God allowing the healing to occur. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Oh, they put a digital meter on your water. Oh my goodness. That is so controlling. The Mason has crows here. They fly around laughing. There are crows here too. And it's so funny. At first I thought, oh, the crows are here because they know that I'm feeding the chickens. They know where I leave the food. And, crows are really very smart. They're very observant. And then I thought, well, maybe those are just DARPA birds. Maybe they were planted here. Yeah, it's very difficult unless you team up with somebody. Well, I think the location absolutely does matter. Yeah, the cough and sinus infections, that could be, just being in those places. There's no air circulating there. You're accustomed to being outside. Deep bone bruises. Shamanism is one of the practices. Its many different types and lineages spread across all of humanity, but some shamanic sects were predatory, as confirmed by Castaneda. Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry to hear that. She says 11 days to heal in the hospital. Crows here. Yeah, they absolutely target our physical appearance. Like they have, I don't know exactly what it is. I've been photographing it with my phone. I bought one of those little digital microscopes, and they have inserted some kind of, I can't even call it Morgellons. It's not. I don't think that's what it is. It's some kind of metallic substance that latches onto the skin that's really difficult to get off. It's almost as if it has teeth. It almost feels like a staple. And they did this. They have several of them in my face, in my cheek. And I have never had marks on my skin. Like I have like really good skin. But that's what they do. They take whatever qualities that you have and destroy them. Oh my goodness, that's horrible, his girl. Oh, that's, yeah, a cold and a metal. If you're on like a metal bed, they can like microwave you to death in those metal beds. It's definitely trafficking us. It's absolutely. I did not consider that like years ago, but I completely believe that it's just trafficking. They're trafficking us. Yes, the RF weapons are amazingly advanced. Even the stuff that is open source is almost unbelievable. Oh, did you, Jonathan? You pulled one of those off your back 6 months ago. Well, I have one on my back. They have one on my shoulder. They deliberately placed one on the top of my lip, on the bottom of my lip, and it's a very sensitive area. Your lip is, and they have been targeting my face literally since I moved here. I mean, what is the likelihood of a wasp stinging you first in the left cheek and then weeks later in the right cheek? What's the likelihood of that happening? Oh, you have metal that comes off your back? Hi, Felix. Welcome. Why are people with power so easily corrupted? No, I think we should all say this is the I Do Not Consent live stream. Ready, set, I do not consent live stream. They seek power because they're corrupt. Well, people who are naturally powerful don't need they don't want to control other people. There's no desire to control another person. Let's see, Flock picks up our voice, heart rate, and tags, and can be used to kill by DNA. Yeah, I do not consent either. I do not consent. I mean, in case they had any, trepidations about my feelings about not consenting, like we could just all say it out loud, like, I do not consent. In case they think that we agreed to this, that we did not agree to this. Okay, you interviewed the microwave expert Mark Steele. Is that on your channel? Yes, only weak people want to control others, Fred says. I agree. I agree. Or very insecure people, They have no faith in God. Your particular covert handles thought they'd bury me alive with Access BCI, but they were disappointed that God beat them to it. Too much healing was done beforehand. Well, that's good to know. Well, that's true, Julius. Narcissists tend to work their way up the social and political power structure. But they could have narcissistic traits and not be a full-blown narcissist. I mean, the people that we're dealing with, the people who created these programs, these are narcissists and psychopaths. The neuro problems, oh, it's horrible. I used to have this great memory, and my vocabulary was better. My spelling was perfect. Like I would be able to spell words I've never heard of before accurately, and now it's like my brain turns into mush. It has nothing to do with age. Zero. Oh, good. Yeah, I would like to see that. I'm sure other people would like to see that video too. Oh, absolutely. This is the generation of narcissists. Yes, we have been creating a society of narcissists through the food supply, through social media, and through pharmacology. Those millions and millions and millions of children that were falsely diagnosed with ADHD and medicated with Ritalin, Concerta, Adderall at very young ages, before they were developing a conscience, before they were becoming empathic, were completely intercepted, and they have intercepted their emotional, their natural emotional developments. Let's see. Mark is the military ex-microwaver of nuns. Oh my goodness, you got lost in your neighborhood today. That's scary. That's scary. Annie does not consent either. That's exactly right. The stress from gang stalking causes damage to the mind from trauma. And stress is cumulative. You don't always recover from the stress because it accumulates like one on top of the next on top of the next. It's not like having a cold or a cough and you drink some hot cocoa and you have your tea and honey and you take care of your throat and it disappears. It doesn't come back. It's not like that with stress. Stress damages different parts of your body. Imagine waking up and seeing a beautiful, perfectly healthy kitten tortured with their eyes almost gouged out. Well, I'm going to post a link that you guys have not seen. You can check it out when you want to. It's for members only, but I will post the link into this live chat so you can see what they did to a kitten this week. Yeah, that's terrible. 10 years is definitely a long time. That's why they call it trauma-based mind control. That's a good point. Yes. Yep. Yes. Satanic ritual abuse, trauma-based mind control. That's what it is. Yes, I rebuke the creepy voice. I don't hear the creepy voice now. I don't get to hear the creepy voice until on the chat replay. That's so sad, very soon. I'm sorry to hear that. They change your family. You miss who your children used to be. They're totally mind controlled now. So the link that I posted in the chat, I did not make that video public, but you guys can see what I'm referring to, what they did to a little gray kitten this week. There are so many victims, Julius, that you're right. I mean, and so many people are coming forward, being interviewed on YouTube. Oh, they're interfering with your ability to text. Oh, yeah, your comments are you're so dangerous. We're all so dangerous. We're terrorist threats. In fact, I went from being like a oh my goodness, never mind. Oh, that's horrible. Felix says, my old friends I've known the majority of my life have all teamed up with my gang stalkers and have started gaslighting and lying to me. I know, Nick. I know. I can't watch it my own self. I had to videotape it, though, as evidence. Oh yeah, if you start talking about that topic, Nick, I've heard that people go after you. I don't know why. Yes, I was watching a video about, I think it's the frequency of 440 versus 432. That the 440 causes anxiety, but the 432, now don't quote me on the number. I thought I've got the number wrong. But the 432 is soothing, and the 440 causes anxiety. How? Okay, I don't know. Says How do we know if gang stalkers are connected to more than just us? I've not thought about it. I don't know how you would know. I don't really care, honestly. I don't really want to know anything about them. I know enough about my neighbors to not want to know anything else. I don't really care. Let's see, put a photo of your cat on, and everybody loves it. Talk about heads in the sand. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's true. Exactly. Oh, exactly. Well, that's very true. They can only traumatize you so much to the point it doesn't have an effect. Well, maybe that's the point. It just seems like the entire program wants to completely change you from who you were originally into somebody that they want you to be, which is so sick. Yes, 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 Eden, about the Rothschilds, yes. I agree, Nick. I mean, neither one of my parents were like that. They were free thinkers. Let's see, after years of satanic ritual abuse, it turned me into a shaman. Well, that's very possible. I'm sure they lie to everybody, Sue. I don't know how they live with themselves for lying all the time. Like, it's very difficult to have to remember all of those lies. Let's see, and who would have power or respect of people to believe them? Let's see, the sophisticated system they have implemented on targets, even non-targeted, is multifaceted, overwhelmingly become a torture device when the non-consensual targets become uncooperative. Well, what do they consider cooperative? That's what I would like to know, right? Has anybody ever approached you to say, "Oh, well, you're not being cooperative. We're going to torture you today." That's exactly right, Nick. So many things will get one in trouble. And once you're on the list, it becomes a pedal to the metal for people. Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't take anything to get placed on a list. But I do believe that much of the time it's for revenge. You pissed off the wrong person, insulted somebody, even unintentionally. Let's see. You started learning about the Franklin scandal, reading Whitney Webb. Oh, Whitney Webb is so good. Epstein and Larry King show that law enforcement will bow down to higher authorities. Absolutely, they use a lot of witchcraft to control the families. I actually thought that was hard to believe, but it's so prevalent now. I think the program is really made to get you DUI. Oh, D, I do. I think it has a lot to do with revenge. That is something that narcissists, you cannot negotiate with a narcissist. You cannot have a conversation with them. You cannot disagree with them. They're very immature. They're babies. So basically, we are in a program devised by a bunch of babies. Oh, well, that's ridiculous, Eden. Just because you have a different opinion on a topic does not mean that you need to divorce your family. It's absolutely absurd. I mean, this is what it means to be an adult, is having an adult conversation and being able to agree to disagree. I could not tell you, his girl. The question is, how do you get rid of a BCI, the AI at night? There are scatter frequencies channels on YouTube that are really good. Whether or not they work, I couldn't tell you. Some of them are easier to listen to than others. But I figure if they're really difficult to listen to, I'll just crack down and listen to, because that means that the criminals that are listening to me have to listen to it too. Exactly. Revenge for 10 years, that's a mental health problem if a person holds a grudge for that long. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I had a horrific divorce, and literally I could not stand my ex-husband's guts for what he did, what he allowed his lawyers to do. But then after the divorce, it's like, I don't really care. You nothing to me. Goodbye. Don't hold a grudge anymore. I don't care. I don't give it a second thought. Makes no difference to me. Oh, love is controlled in your family. Well, that there are families that do that. There are definitely families that do that. I have a cat here in my house that I have to get next door. So I'm just going to step away from the screen for about 4 or 5 minutes, and I'll be right back. Hey guys, in just another minute, Foxy showed up, so I'm gonna get Foxy some food. Okay, I am back. Took a little bit longer. Foxy was outside when I came back from bringing the cats in. Let me see what you guys have been saying. Let's see. The time they spend with us, less time they spend with their families doing other things. They spend their lives trying to play God. And when they reach the other side, they're going to get their dues. It's a lawless state. I tell everybody about the ridiculous program and their eyes, and you watch their eyes roll. The perp's biggest fear is being exposed. Make them feel. I do. I make my perps popular. Yes, I even have videos about how they're so popular. They're so popular because they like to play with poop. So we make them popular on the channel. Yes, and they don't. I don't care if they like it or not. Too bad. Let's see. Did the sound cut out? Creepy. Go away, or is it? No, I walked away from the screen to bring one of my cats next door. And then when I came back, Foxy was outside. So I gave Foxy a couple of eggs. They're messing up your tech tonight. Exactly. Life is too short to waste time. I don't I don't know. I mean, I just don't get it. I still don't get it. How people get involved with this. Let's see. Every CIA whistleblower or credible person I heard from online associated with these covert operations, members having witch warlock knowledge, black magic, are definitely fighting spiritually. Am I going to read to you guys? Yes, I can read to you guys. I definitely can. Let's see, what should we read? It'll be story time. 1 second. Let me see. I'll get something good. I'll get something fun to read, like Karen Stewart. I'll go get one. I'll go into the Karen Stewart folder. Let's see. My nurse neighbor is probably suffering from early Parkinson's or arthritis because the video where she posted a poster on the lamp shows her shaky hands. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know her at all. But whatever she did was wrong. But they don't care. Okay, so I've got a folder called Karen Stewart Flyers. Let's see, what should we read? Let's see here. Mental health veracity of TI. This is a vouching for the veracity of legally targeted individual claims of psychological and physical abuse with illegal national program of psyops perpetrated on them by networks of rogue government agents led by fusion centers. This is written by Karen M. Stewart, NSA Intelligence Analyst, retired. To whom it may concern. Actually, I should probably give this letter to Jessica, but to whom it may concern. In regard to the claims you made by the person in question giving you this letter, do not be so quick to assume the unusual is the same as delusional. Societies evolve, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Crime is evolving. It's getting more and more organized, corporatized, sophisticated with the use of high tech and even military precision techniques, as well as psychological operations techniques. The police, sadly, are far behind the curve, as are mental health experts unable to think outside of the box. This gives criminals a huge advantage and puts the victims in a position of being victimized twice by astute criminals and the anachronistic system. I worked for the National Security Agency as an intelligence analyst from 1982 to 2010 when I was illegally retaliated against in 2009 and terminated. I had discovered unethical activity that indicated crime and treason. As an award winning analyst, it became a challenge to create a reason to fire me. I had passed a rigorous battery of tests in 1982, including a thorough psychological evaluation, and handily passed every single routine reevaluation every 5 years or so. NSA settled in on low level security multi person relay stalking harassment that employed criminal actions about which I complained and was immediately fired on false pretenses. I was to learn that this type of harassment existed historically, not only in Nazi Germany, the Nazi brown shirts, but was also a covert intimidation technique employed by the KKK, the Mafia, and the East German secret police in 1970 to 1980s against dissidents. Much of it consists of gaslighting. Intelligence agencies had resurrected the practice to combat similar Cold War tactics and began illegally and surreptitiously using them on whistleblowers, journalists, any law abiding or not, who they felt was a threat or merely inconvenience to them, which I had become. They also passed on these techniques to other agencies as well as a means to circumvent whistleblower protection laws. They internally standardized the axiom that anyone who reported multi-person stalking was quote unquote paranoid and delusional and or quote unquote schizophrenic and therefore unemployable, and fired them. No investigation needed, just a bare minimum run past a complicit government mental health expert was utilized. Fast forward to the capitalist surveillance state, where the more threats you identify, the bigger your budget, the greater your ability to expand and grab power and influence. Thus was born or resurrected organized stalking performed largely by a large pool of unskilled civilians recruited, trained, and organized and paid by the surveillance state and its quote unquote partners, i.e., contractors, private security firms, Department of Homeland Security affiliated mental health facilities, for profit prisons, etc. Local authorities saw their jobless rates go down and unskilled labor employed. It mattered little to none. All that their prey was good people, quite innocent of any crimes. After all, the town was benefiting economically, as were all affiliated with the Homeland Security and watch list scam. The person who is passing this letter to you likely has never had any psychological issues and is older, not really a viable candidate for a highly irregular, sudden, late onset mental illness. He or she likely has methodically noted patterns and practices which logically tell them that the bizarre activity carried on around him is indeed planned and orchestrated. The activity is what remains the same through the players or switched out to circumvent antiquated stalker laws, which never provided for such a scenario but became mired in the myopic, quote, only single persons engaged in rejection stalking, unquote. Though federal laws regarding RICO do provide that possibility of group harassment for a purpose. Please consider that this case also falls under the category of multi-person stalking, and it's not the victim who has any mental aberration, but the stalkers committing predatory, psychopathic harassment for money who actually do. And then she signed it, Karen M. Stewart, NSA Intelligence Analyst, retired. Top secret clearance for 27 to 28 years. Thank you so much, Karen. Much appreciated. So, this is a letter vouching for the veracity of the illegally targeted individual's claims of psychological and physical abuse with illegal national program of psyops perpetrated on them by networks of rogue government agents led by fusion centers. So let's see, I believe biker gangs are heavily involved as well, at least closely tied to Freemasonry. I'm not liable for any suicides, I don't know, says. My mental space has never been there, just saying. Put the blame where it belongs. Nick says they use devices that look like cell phones and blast aerosols at us. And they do blast aerosols here on the property. So very often, like I wear turtlenecks, like I'm wearing one today, even though it's 88 degrees outside. Yeah, so when the aerosols are being sprayed outside, I just pick up my turtleneck and cover my face with it. Let's see, cops and courts are in on it, beginning to think all government workers are in. I don't know if all of them are. They're probably, to a certain degree, but there are probably some people that are just clueless about it, just the way, like we all were at some point. Let's see, Teacher Charles on YouTube has good stuff on the beginning of KKK. Yeah, I've not heard of that person. If anyone is interested, here a couple of sources for a better understanding. Wait, if anyone. Look up X Master Mason exposes all. Oh, I saw that one. Yeah, I saw that one. I actually tried to contact him because one of you guys said that they knew him personally, gave me his phone number. I contacted him. He was very abrupt, and I never called back. The Masons need to be shut down. Well, a lot of people have said that. More people are waking up about what they're involved with. You know, if they are a secret society, why? What's the big secret? Well, like, what are you hiding? If it's that much of a secret. So let's see. We've got a few minutes left. Let me go into my folder and see what else I can read to you guys. So that was entitled "The Mental Health Veractiy of TI." Oh, this sounds like a good one here. And this is just one short. No, it's two pages. This is again. It's written by Karen M. Stewart, retired NSA Intelligence Analyst. It's entitled "The Birth of American Useful Idiots." I think I might have read this on the channel. I'm not sure. I think I did, but the birth of American useful idiots. In the 20th century, the Bolsheviks, Russian Jewish communists, succeeded in derailing the Russian monarchy's transition to a very democratic constitutional monarchy, like in England, with the use of masses of ignorant peasants the Bolsheviks called useful idiots. Their transition would have given the Russians their first taste of freedom ever. But the Bolsheviks were masters of lies and propaganda and convinced the useful idiots to work against their own best interests by murdering the entire Russian royal family, working to modernize Russia and turning over total leadership to the savage Bolshevik communists, who immediately took steps to starve 6 million people, to subjugate the entire country to socialism, communism. Think that it is a supply chain shortage happening now. Thanks to the useful idiots, they, their children, and grandchildren suffered one of the most oppressive, cruel, and deadly regimes in history for decades. Communism, also known as socialism, is a parasite that sucks a host dry after decades and then moves on to another host, another country, another economic system, such as the one that is healthy due to capitalism and free commerce. When communism targets another people, another country, another culture, it sends dissenters to fool the useful idiots. And in that society, um, into turning against their own country and countrymen. This is done through first capturing teachers and the media to spread propaganda. The same is happening today after decades of communist infiltration into the so called Communist Democrat Party and rhinos. That has been taking bribes from Communist China for decades to subvert the USA, its government, economy, societal Communist China for decades. Attitudes or hijack or discredit religion as part of the propaganda machine's power grab. Communism cannot take root without creating distrust amongst citizens of each other, creating a false boogeyman, destroying family, religious, and Western philosophical ethics to be replaced with blind obedience to the state, and leaving people in a state of chaos and confusion. If this sounds familiar, you are catching on. Satan is not usually going to identify himself to you, but rather will identify himself as quote unquote tolerance or progressive thought. Tolerating evil is not progressive. It is regressive and suicidal to any decent society and has always been a civilization destroyer. Your neighborhood is part of this. Everyone's neighborhood is infected by now. 20 years of infiltration with fusion center traders paid in under the table gift cards. Your fool neighbors are told certain individuals are quote unquote terrorist threats when they're not at all and have never been. The watch list is a total scam. It is the real terrorists calling the pack in order to murder them under your noses. Call your enemy what you are. Slap an authoritative claim to it, and sheep will believe you. The false targets either are completely innocent or are acting to save America, and you're asleep butts from these vermin. Although activism and knowledge sharing, through activism and knowledge sharing, flyers in neighborhoods are always quickly torn down by the guilty, rabid, and frenzied useful idiots. They try to keep you in the dark as to their criminal activity and betrayal of this country for measly gift cards. Police are some of the biggest useful idiots, told to deny and cover up the gang activity of the fusion center seditionists and terrorists whose job it is to continually defame, vandalize, harass, file false police reports, kill or steal and maim your pets, and even use handheld or portable electronic weapons provided by fusion centers and police on discerning and virtuous people to harm and kill them, who are viewed as standing in the way of this degenerate cabal powered by useful idiots, cheap whores, selling you out for gift cards. Yes, fusion centers recruit life's losers to destroy the USA. They're usually actual clinically low IQ idiots. Let's see. Yes, fusion centers recruit life's losers to destroy the USA. Actual clinical low IQ idiots, career criminals, emotional retards, as well as sociopaths, and they empower would-be mentally ill bullies far far too chicken to be so to anyone's face without the police and fusion center's secret army to back them. Imagine police chiefs, sheriffs, judges, mayors, legislators, etc., thinking attacking, murdering innocent people because it's a rogue federal agency told them to do so. You elect idiots, then you pay the price. Get on the phone, write letters to your police chief, sheriff, city council, congressman, senator, governor, attorney general, and human rights groups and demand that fusion centers be defunded, shut down, audited, investigated, and victims listened to as to what constant criminal abuse these degenerate neighbors have subjected them to, which, when ignored by lazy law enforcement as well as sellout America, they're told it's a matter of, quote unquote, homeland security to cover up injuries to innocent people, and the fools buy it. You better muster up some common sense and courage, or you might as well just dig your family's graves right now and save China the effort. They have put decades of planning and bribing our leadership into play and expect to collect upon their investment sooner than you think, thanks to our abundance of greedy, seditious, useful idiots. They want our land, water, natural resources, farmland, sheep, cattle, chickens, natural resources, but they have no use for yet more of what they consider excess population. And that's the end of that letter, The Birth of America's Useful Idiots by Karen M. Stewart. Hi, Pamela. Let's see. See who I missed here. How do we find out where our nearest fusion center is? You type it into, just type a question. Fusion center near me. The fusion centers are very often linked with Homeland Security. So if you know where your Homeland Security is, it's very possible that their InfraGard office is very close by. A fusion center can be run out of a regular house. Yes, fusion centers, I believe, are run by local law enforcement agencies, but work with DHS, the FBI, and the sheriff. They at least here in Kentucky, the fusion center works with Homeland Security. Let's see, CIA whistleblower Kevin Shipp spoke about the Freemasonry pact in politics and government. They simply serve Satan for intoxication, and intoxication meaning drunken in reprobation, depravity. Yes, I believe that to be true. They are depraved. I think that there's a map. You can find them online. They really don't want you to know who's heading them. Like, you won't get a list of names of people. But you can probably type it in the search, like whatever your state is, or your county or local town. You could just ask. You could even ask ChatGPT, where is the local fusion center in relationship to where you live. Yeah, that's right about the blackmail. That appears to be what they do, and it's very similar in Scientology, where I guess it's called an audit, where they ask like a lot of questions and they use it against you in the future if you decide to leave. Oh well, that's quite a possibility that they would be afraid that we might show up there. Well, the same holds for InfraGard. They do sound like cowards. They don't want to show their faces. Because during the day they pretend to be upstanding citizens. Hi, Toward the Terra, welcome. I've heard that too about Canada getting really bad. I think that the perpetrators have assignments. They're assigned to perform certain tasks, and some of them may be tasked to be online, and some of them may not be tasked to be online. Now, if they're tasked to be a cyber stalker, that's fine. That's a new person. Yes, that's been going on a lot. That's been going on for years there. Hi, Kevin Michael. Welcome. I never thought that in the past about Canada, but I do believe that now. Welcome, Kevin. The paramedics are involved, the firefighters are involved, judges are involved, county lawyers are involved. Oh, here, you got the PVA office that's involved in giving me a property tax increase and nobody else. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter their color, their race. Like I think I mentioned in New Jersey, there was one time I was shopping. It was called Net Cost. It was like an international grocery store. I really liked it. And I'm shopping there. There's this guy just like leaning against the wall, staring at me. You can tell he's like one of those higher level guys that's just trying to like really read me. He was not a white guy. I think he was like Middle Eastern or something. Just standing there, staring at, still like staring through me. Yeah, Fred, that's true. Fred says, I thought Medic's motto is to save lives. In reality, it's to harass innocents. Oh, of course. They already know through spying and hacking that we're not guilty, but they're paid. They're paid to promote the narrative, and they don't care, which means that they're all going to hell. That's what happens. If you take money to harm somebody else, you're a hired hitman, you're a hired hitwoman. As far as the last I heard, like that's against the law, right? Isn't that against the law? That's a really good point, Landshark. I know a medic who purposely let a patient die. Now I realize they were likely a TI. Yeah, that's very true. So I was 10 minutes late in starting the chat. So we'll go another 10 minutes and then, until around the 10 past midnight, and then we'll shut it down. Hi, So Geometric. Welcome, welcome. We've got another 10 minutes. It took me a little longer to start the chat today because I was getting cats ready, and I'm still having difficulty adding the trailer. Let's see what else I can read here. I'm still in my Karen folder. Okay, here's one. Let's see. FISA abuses. Targeting of Innocent Americans for Profit by Karen M. Stewart. Since President Obama lowered the criteria to being put on a watch list to less than probable cause in 2013, meaning only a wink, wink, nod, nod is needed from the Homeland Security Good Old Boys Club, Anyone at all can be put on the watch list for any reason. Samples of Americans on the watch list: random people for plausible deniability, political opposites, whistleblowers, heirs or co-heirs, someone wishes to asset strip, disabled or parents of disabled to usurp their benefits, veterans to usurp benefits and neutralize citizens who have skills to fight back, those receiving retirement or other annuities someone wishes to usurp, meaning to steal, to take away, activists exposing corruption and or abuse, ex-spouses, business partners that one wishes to make forfeit his or her share, someone upon whom another wishes to collect life insurance, someone who owns property another person wants. Oh, that sounds familiar. Petty disputes. Someone with genetic traits that medical researchers wish to experiment on, without consent, of course. Someone with genetic traits that weapons manufacturers wish to test out on certain weapons, gases, poisons, and fungus, etc. That's exactly what they're doing to me. Women who spurn unwanted sexual advances or demands. This is the real mission of DHS as it stands now. That's the end of that little one-page snippet on FISA abuses targeting of innocent Americans for profit. You caught 3 rainbow trout and 2 German. I don't know what a German brown is, but you caught all those fish. The perps don't have a guilty conscience because they don't have a guilty conscience. Narcissists don't feel guilt because they think that in their small brains that they've done nothing wrong. Let's see, a German brown sounds like a type of hairstyle or a type of cake. Let's see. Okay, so you caught some fish and then released them. Yeah, they all think they're innocent. I mean, if you ever watch any of these court TVs, where a spouse is has killed another spouse, and they're claiming that, oh no, she just fell off the boat, or no, she went on vacation, just didn't come back, or and then you get them into court, and they think they've got all their ducks in a row, and they're all smiling and everything until the judge says, life, you've been charged for first degree murder, and then the smile drops and they're going to prison. Question by Joey is, has the cancellation of FISA 702 made any changes overall on stalking, cell tower attacks, satellite human search, UAP attacks? Well, it wasn't canceled. We've got to get the wording right. It expired. It expired. But it doesn't mean that it cannot be renewed. Yes, so we've got Father's Day tomorrow, the president's birthday, So it's very possible that they're not going to do anything with 702 probably for a few weeks at least. Like when this is over, we'll all go on a fishing trip together. Yeah, they're hiding, the fraidy cat cowards. That's so funny, yeah. Well, so happy Father's Day, everybody who's a father. Even if you're not a father, happy Father's Day. Which is next week, I think. Let's see. Yeah, next week, the 21st. Yeah, so Father's Day is this year. Father's Day is at the summer solstice. Oh, beware, beware. The sun enters Cancer. Father's Day, June 21. The summer solstice is Sunday the 21st. But tomorrow we have a new moon, and it's also Flags Day. So that's just actually today. Let's see. We are in the new moon now. We're in the new moon. That means it's very dark outside. The animals are usually not as active, so I was surprised to see Foxy here. Father's Day is next week. Your Father's Day is next Sunday, the 21st. Yes, we've got a new moon now. I just checked. I've got like a little software program on my laptop that tells me the moon cycle. So yeah, so we've got a new moon and 9 degrees of Gemini. Yes, so I'm going to say good night to everybody. Thank you all for joining in, and I apologize for being 10 minutes late. I've got to figure out how to get my trailer attached to the live stream. Father's Day is next Sunday, the 21st. But today, which is now the 14th, is Flag Day. It's also the president's birthday. Yes, actually, it is a good time for change. Yes, there's a lots of stuff, but you don't want to do a lot of things during a new moon because it's the dark of the moon. You have to wait for it to be a crescent. And actually, the best time to list a house is when the moon is increasing in light and goes into the sign of Cancer. Just saying. So anyway, thank you, Joe, for moderating. No, Father's Day. I thought it was Father's Day is next Sunday, the 21st. Father's Day is the 21st. Yeah, so but today, which is now we're on Sunday, June 14. It's Flags Day. Father's Day is next Sunday, the 21st. Also, next Sunday is the solstice, summer solstice, where the sun goes into the sign of Cancer. Okay, everybody, thank you all for joining in the chat. I'm going to sign off now. Anybody that didn't hit the thumbs up, if you can do so, I appreciate it. And thank you, Joe, for moderating. Yes, Joe says have a great night. Be well as you can. Stay safe, vigilant, and try to have love and humor in your heart and stay blessed. Always good to talk to my peeps. Thank you guys always. Fred says, thanks, Lorraine. Thanks, Joe. Stay well. Don't let ex-convicts provoke you. Good points. Yes, absolutely. All right, well, have a good night, everybody. I'm going to sign off for now.